Hello, everyone. This is Susan Gerbic from Psychics Explained, and I have another video, another reading that we're going to analyze with Lady Phyllis medium. She is a recommended, highly recommended medium that Thomas John, the hot reader, a grief vampire, has recommended. And in some of the videos that you will find under the playlist for Lady Phyllis under Operation Dill Pickle, you will see Thomas John's endorsement of Lady Phyllis. That's why she came on my radar, is because he told his followers to check her out. So I'm checking her out. What we're going to find today is that she's doing yet another reading of a woman who was on a gallery call that I and others were actually on. And back in December, I think it was December of 2023. So I've been hanging on to these videos for a very long time, waiting to see what I was going to do with them, if Lady Phyllis was somebody we were going to investigate further or not. This woman is cold reading. It is completely cold reading. I already know that. We know that. But the purpose of this channel is to get beyond the fact, is it hot or cold reading, and to get into the weeds of understanding what exactly is she saying? What specifically is it that's happening between the sitter and the medium that makes the sitter leave feeling like they have received some sort of help and that she has been accurate. And also, the statement they make most often with all mediums is, there are things that were told to me that there's no way anybody else could have known. So I really want to understand that phenomena. We know that people like Lady Phyllis are a very different type of medium than the ones you would see on TV, like the Tyler Henrys, the Teresa Caputos, the John Edwards, and so on. This is a woman who has been trained by Thomas John, but not as a hot reader. But she's one of the normal mediums that you would encounter if you were to get a reading from somebody just normally. She's in a private place. Well, it's not exactly private because I paid to get into this gallery reading of about 10 other women. But to her, she's going to let her guard down quite a bit because she thinks she's within a group of obviously believers. And she is not expecting that somebody like myself would be talking about her readings or broadcasting them onto YouTube to get feedback from you guys and to Facebook. So some psychic, huh? And so I've done a playlist. I have a playlist on my channel, Psychics Explained, that talk about all the different readings. And I'm trying to get through all the readings. And it was a 2.5 or something like that hour session. I have already released about 7 of these videos, and you can find them on a playlist called Operation Dill Pickle. And yes, these are very difficult to watch. It is hard to watch people being manipulated when you already know what's going on and you know that this is manipulation. But again, we have to bear witness to this kind of pseudoscience. We have to understand what's going on, because people will come to you and come to me all the time and saying, well, she was helping people. How dare you? How dare you be so mean? She's helping people. And then they also say, again, there's no way that she could have known these things if she wasn't a medium. So you have to have some sort of way of refuting that. Because, yes, to these people, they think they've just been helped. But to us observers who know better, lying to people isn't help. And it furthers the problem when you see what's actually going on with these readings, where they're giving medical, financial, and legal advice. So watch for that, because sometimes it crops up. They gain these people's confidence, the usually lonely, grieving, usually women. And what they do is they're trying to keep them stuck in their grief. They're trying to keep them from moving on to actually having new lives and to embrace death. Well, that sounded really bad. To embrace the idea that death is a part of life. It is, in playing pretend is not a good idea for how to be an adult and learn how to deal with these difficult, horrible things that happen, and to just accept that we're all going to die and nobody's communicating with anybody. All right. So it's it's just silly to be continuing to play this game as adults. And it leaves us open to other fantasies and other magical thinking when we can't challenge these the reality that is there in front of us. So I want to get started with this video. I will I'll break in every so often. It's 12 minutes long. I'll break in as when there's a natural when there's a natural area. And so I want to be clear that I think that Lady Phyllis and a lot of people in her ilk believe they are helping people, and she may believe she's psychic. I don't know. It really isn't that important. But what is going on is that a lot of these mediums actually are victims themselves. They have bought they've bought into the idea that they're helping people, and they have bought the lectures, the mentorship, they've taken the classes, and now they're using it for their own. Now, this woman, I don't think she needs the money, but she does charge. Her husband and her owned a very large limo service in LA, Vegas, and in New York, where they started out. So it's possible she doesn't really need it, but she is charging people anyway. She's written over 50 books on spiritualism, and you've probably never heard of her, and that's fine. But she is just one of thousands out there. And by watching her readings, we can understand more of what's actually going on. So, hey, Susan. I'm also showing this on Facebook, so I will probably be getting comments from people, hopefully, as they watch this video and are able to see what's going on as I go through it. All right. So I have blurred the face of the woman she's giving a reading to. I have cleared out, taken her name off of there. It's a very common name. There's no way anybody would be able to Google this name and not get 100,000 women with the same name. So this is a video that was given to me by Lady Phyllis because I paid for a reading. And when they give you the video, they're giving you everybody's who got a reading, not just me. I got a reading, and I also had another woman who got a reading who was planted by me, and she got a reading. So no, those videos are already out. You got to check out the one where she gives me a reading. It's hilarious. Oh my gosh, especially with Christmas coming up. She read my non-existent dead brother, my non-existent dead husband, my non-existent uncle. I mean, she just went on and on, giving me a reading. Now, there may be some hot reading going on, and it's not the kind you would traditionally think of as hot reading. Hot reading is having foreknowledge of the person you're about to read. And some of these people are her students. And so she already has information about them. I've released at least one video for somebody named Trudy, who was her who is her student. Now, she admits that these are her students. She's clear at that at the beginning of the video that I'm not releasing right now because this is a little bit of the 3 hours that I have. So she freely admits that some of these people are her students, but she doesn't seem to equate that knowing these people ahead of time and giving them readings is equal to hot reading. So you may see a little of that. I don't remember. I haven't looked at this video for over a year, and I absolutely don't remember. It hasn't been seen by anybody outside of um well, anybody who was on this call saw this reading and they have a copy of it, but it has not been seen by anybody outside of inside our community at all, except for like the 7 or 8 people who watched this video live with me whenever we did the sting, Operation Dill Pickle. Okay, so I'm ready to start. I hope you guys got your pencils and your paper because you're going to need it because she's going to talk fast and furious, and she's going to go and give us a lot of content. And it's nice to have you guys listening in. It's nice to have you guys listening in and to give feedback as well because it's even though we are not the subject of this reading, and even though we have pencil and paper here and we don't have that feeling of what's the word for it? Emotion. We're not tied to this reading that we're getting. We still stumble over the words and we stumble over what she just said. So imagine what it's like to be very emotional, caught up emotionally in the moment and getting the reading and thinking you're really speaking to a dead human being that you once loved. All right, let's get started.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Good, Phyllis. How are you?
I'm great. Kathy, your thing is flowers, something flowers.
Yeah.
your Thank you for that review. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. No, gosh.
Okay. Um, so Kathy, I feel there's a lot of turmoil around you. I'm just gonna go straight
Yeah,
for
just a
I
little.
to me it looks like it's a Van Gogh painting, like all the circles. I'm just feeling I you know I'm not feeling that you want to hear so much from relatives as you want to hear what to do, or you've got like some decisions that you have to make.
Yeah.
Your father's on the other side, and your father
Yep.
is who's Bill? Who's Bill? William Bill?
Bill,
Okay.
my buddy, he
Okay.
he was like another dad to me. He had he
He's
was a Bill the barber right next to my shop.
right, and he's here too. And he says, you don't need anyone to tell you what to do. You know what to do. He says, stop procrastinating. Do what you have to do.
Okay.
Is the flower shop in business?
Website only for the. I've been there 8 years. Bill was there a couple of years. He passed away during COVID, and then I went website based in 2017. But I've been thinking about reopening a day a week at least.
He's saying you have to, not a day a week. He wants you to go back. You can't
Yeah,
sell flowers through what he's saying is, he talked about being remote, not working, that you have to be, he wants you out of your house and going to a place and going to work. You understand what he's talking about?
yeah,
I also want to talk about, you have two sons or one son?
one.
You have one son. Is he moving out? Something's going on with your son? Is he changing jobs or moving out? Something's going on with your son. You know what
Yeah, he.
you're talking about? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. He needs to get a job. He graduated college.
Right, right. And he's sort of like, is he doing video games or something? Like he's sitting in the house in video games. You got
Yep.
to unplug the TV.
Yeah,
You
I've
you
tried. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something with this generation since COVID. They don't want to go out, and it's there are jobs everywhere, and they have to go. Um,
Yep.
so what your father says, he just pulls the plug on that game system.
I
That
tried. Yeah.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, the gaming people are gonna go on strike like Hollywood went on strike. So he's like,
Oh, really?
yeah, the
That would
actors or
be good.
whatever. There's something going on, strike over there. But he says, you are. I almost feel like did you ever sit on a bed that was too soft and you can't get off of it? Like you almost sink into the bed and you're pushing and you can't get off. And
Yep.
that's what you're showing me. Like you're kind of stuck it's not a swamp. It's comfortable, but it's a bed, and you can't get out to go and do what you have to do.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Okay. Who's the FR named Frank?
Okay, let's stop there for the moment. All right, so here we are. This is clearly a woman who has, she knows because the woman, she knows she owns a flower shop. She also knew about Bill, and she also says that Cathy has left a review on Lady Phyllis's, I don't know, book or her website or something. She's given her some kind of review. So this is somebody she already knows. So this is a form of hot reading. Oh, Susan Williams already says this is gross. You ain't seen nothing yet, Susan. Okay. And Andrew. So yeah, a life-changing decision, according to Rob. He says this is a life-changing decision. Okay, so let's get to that. The questions are, that we are need to ask ourselves, because of Lady Phyllis's website says that this is for entertainment purposes only. So one of the things to keep in mind, is this entertainment? Is this person being helped? Is Cathy being helped? Are there medical, legal, or financial advice given, which are definitely no-nos you never do. So Cathy is here because she is stuck. I like the metaphor that she uses, that you're on a bed that's really soft and you just can't get yourself up. I like that metaphor. That's clever, but keeping people coming back to you because you're giving them advice, this advice that Lady Phyllis really doesn't know what is best for this woman. She says your father, who's dead, is giving you the advice. And so by having that, um, keeping these people stuck and coming to me every time that they need advice, I'll ask your dad, and dad will tell me what to do. Or I'll ask your buddy Bill, who was your good friend who died during COVID. Now remember, this is 2023 that I'm recording this. So it hasn't been that long. So again, we don't know her dad's name. And even if she did know it, it wouldn't mean that much, because we know that this is a person who's gotten readings from Lady Phyllis before. This idea of Bill is telling you you know what to do, and that you need to open up the flower shop and get out of the house and work it. So now we don't know if that's good advice. It kind of sounds like it'd be good advice, but do we know it's good advice? No, we don't know it's good advice. And neither does Lady Phyllis. So by the argument from not authority, but just Lady Phyllis has set herself as is in the mind of Cathy, a semi-celebrity that she has a personal relationship to. And this is a semi-celebrity who has the ability to communicate with dead people. So this is a big ask to go against the advice that is coming from Lady Phyllis through a dead father and a dead coworker. And that this is, I mean, we don't know, but that's the problem. Taking financial advice from somebody like this is, it's a little different from taking the advice from your friend. So if Cathy is having these same issues and she has a very close friend that knows her life situation, maybe somebody she grew up with, or another family member, or somebody she went to school with, somebody she feels comfortable talking to, if she was to tell them these same problems that she's having, she would be getting peer-to-peer advice. She would be getting advice from them that she could take or refute. But when you're getting it from your dead family members and ex-coworkers who are dead through this medium, it doesn't have the same level of well, I don't know if I should take that advice or not. It sounds like I got to do this. My dead father, my dead coworker who knows the business, he told me I have to get back to work 7 days a week or 5 days a week or whatever it is with the flower shop. When we do not know if that is in the best interest of this woman or not. And her problem with her son has graduated from college. And they're making it sound, okay, he's graduated from college, he needs to get a job, he's playing on the computer a lot. She's making it sound like, and because we know Lady Phyllis is not actually talking to any dead people. So when she says, your dad is telling me, no, dad is not telling her anything. Lady Phyllis is telling you. I guess this is a woman who wants to give advice to everybody. She's saying, you need to unplug your son's console. You need to end all that. And Cathy says, I tried that. So we never heard what ends up happening with that. Do we know that that's in the best interest for her son? We do not know if he's going through depression. We don't know if he's got issues that need to be dealt with medically or psychologically. We don't know if he has been applying to places all over the place, but she just flippantly says, oh, there's tons of jobs out there and he's just not doing it. In other words, she's calling her son just lazy when we don't know what the actual situation is. We don't know if they live in an area of the United States where there really aren't a lot of jobs. Lady Phyllis is in Long Beach in is it Long Beach? In New York City or New York area. And so there's probably a ton of jobs in 2023 that need to be done. We don't know what's going on with this woman's son who just graduated from college. Maybe some care, maybe some not necessarily tough love if you don't know what the situation is. Maybe a little more sympathy and understanding might do better with your son than others. And I love this. Hey, the gaming people are going to go on strike just like the writers and actors did. Well, that didn't happen. So uh, you're wrong again. Let's see. All right, let's see. The bear. Oh, yeah. So this is an interesting. Susan Williams is saying that this is not when she's able to, like, when Lady Phyllis is giving advice, her own advice, she's doing so as if it came from dead people. So therefore, the medium actually has no responsibility for what the repercussions could be to this woman going back to work and opening up her business. We don't know that maybe she's been offered a really good, somebody's offered to buy the business from her, and maybe she should sell the business, and maybe she should move. Maybe she's living in a place that needs that, or in a situation that she should get out of wherever she's living. Maybe she should move to another part of the United States, another part of the world. Maybe she should go back to school herself. Maybe there's too many things that could be a better situation for Cathy, but Lady Phyllis is just none of that. Here's black and white thinking. This is what your dad and Bill says. Okay. So Rob Palmer says he thinks this is an argument from authority for sure. Okay, let's go back and let's see what we got now. Pencil and paper's ready.
Frank, Fred, Francis.
I'm going to back that up a
I
second.
had an Uncle Frank.
I want to see what these names
Okay,
are.
Frank, Fred, Francis.
Wait.
Showing me like you're kind of stuck it's not a swamp, it's comfortable, but it's a bed, and you can't get out to go and do what you have to do.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Okay. Who's the FR name? Frank, Fred, Francis?
I had an Uncle Frank who's on
Why?
the other side.
Yeah. This is your mother's brother?
Yes.
Yeah. And were you close with him?
No, not really, but he has 6 kids, and I still stay in touch with them through Facebook.
Did he do something in life that he regretted? Like, would you say that he lived his life in something happy? Because what he's saying is, don't do what I did.
Oh,
Does that make sense to you?
no. Just
Think about his decisions. Think
okay.
about where he ended up. Because it's weird that I don't think I've ever said his name to you before. But what I do get, he's watching over you and he's saying, you're smarter than anyone else. Do what you got to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you lose?
Interesting.
Did you lose an earring recently?
I'm always losing earrings.
Yeah. So your mom's on the other side, right?
Oh yeah.
She's showing me that you lost an earring recently, and it's in the drawer. You just have to open your eyes. She says, "Open your eyes. You're going to find it." So I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I don't know if she's talking about business, life, or your earrings.
Yeah. Kind of look at it in a broad sense. Okay.
And I am getting a Marjorie or a Marge. Who's that?
Marjorie or a Marge?
It feels like it's around your mom. Did she have a
Don't
sister?
know. She just had a brother.
She just had a brother. Did she have a sister-in-law?
There's Maisie.
Oh, Maisie, Marjorie, Maisie. It's an
Okay.
old-fashioned. I don't know every name, so I go
Yeah.
with like.
It's a different name.
right. So this is your Aunt Maisie,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
I would just take it as a validation that, that they're all together. And
Okay.
mother shows me she's playing cards. So I don't know if she was a card player.
Maybe. I'll have to ask one of my cousins, some of the non-believers, if they'll start believing. I just keep talking to them. They're going
Yeah,
to believe,
absolutely.
you
So,
know,
yeah. Uh,
especially my cousin Brian.
any questions?
Um, yeah.
Okay, before we go to the questions, okay, I'm just making a note of this last thing. She's got non-believers she's trying to convince. So has she said anything that would be any evidence of belief that Lady Phyllis has done anything, said anything that there's no way anybody could know, considering that she just said, Lady Phyllis says that, oh, I don't think we've talked about um Fred before when we've done readings. In other words, she's getting readings from her often enough that she remembers who these different people are that are in her life. If this video was shown to her uncle, her cousin Brian, who does not believe in psychics, I think he's just going to laugh and he's going to say, "What are you talking about? There's been nothing. There's nothing here." um, Fred, Frank, Francis, an FR name, and she gravitates to Uncle Fred. Cathy says Uncle Fred, not Lady Phyllis, who says Uncle Fred. And how does she know, like, in a second? Yeah, that's him. So, and then she says, I don't think we've mentioned Uncle Fred before, but maybe she has, because she says that he's your mom's brother, right? We don't know. There's psychics throughout history have kept, if you read the book, um, Psychic Mafia, from about the psychic industry years and years ago, they used to keep these little note cards of the information they knew about people and what they found out. And then they would look at the notes and be able, when they did a reading with somebody else or with that person again, they'd be able to just look over the notes. And then if the person was going to go to another city or to go to a different medium that they recommended, they just share the notes. If I was a medium and I wanted to do this, and I was obviously hoping to be successful, I would take notes. Heck yeah, I'd have a whole spreadsheet here. I would be taking notes like I'm doing here, especially since you're recording the darn thing. And then you would just make notes and then you could refer back to it when you see that they bought a reading from you or are going to be doing a gallery reading. It's not hard. You just put together a spreadsheet. It would be simple, super simple. Now, I'm not saying that's what the Lady Phyllis is doing. She just probably remembers that she's talked to her about her mother's brother. Not that that's such a big guess. It's not like it's a huge success. It's either her mother's or her father's family. So she just picked mother. Okay. Did he have what was it? Well, this thing about a loose ear, you lost an earring? Really? The dead are going to come back and say, "Oh, it's so good to see my daughter. I love her so much. She lost an earring. Tell her it's in the drawer. She just open her eyes. Open your eyes. You'll see the, just take a look. It's right there in the drawer. Come on, man." My God. I'm laughing. This isn't funny. Really, it isn't. Did your Uncle Fred live his life in something he regretted? What are you alluding to? Like an occupation, or he married the wrong person, or or what? I mean, there's so many things that could apply to. He didn't get the right college degree, or he didn't go to college, or he did go to college, or mom on the other side. Okay. She knows mom's on the other side. Now, who's Marge around her mom? Did your mom have a sister? Nope. Her mom had a brother. So, did the brother have a wife? See, I'm starting to cough again. Sorry. Did your brother have a wife? She had to think about that. She did. Her name was Maisie. So Maisie apparently is the same as Marjorie, according to Lady Phyllis. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know any Marjories and I don't know any Maisies. I'm gonna take a cough drop. The same as Marge. So this is her sister-in-law who's here. They're all together in heaven. I don't know why. You've got all of heaven to roam. Anywhere, anybody you want to talk to? No, you hang out with the same old people that you always hung out with and you play cards. What kind of heaven is that? Just hanging around? No. Go talk to people. Go investigate mysteries. Go learn things. That's just me. All right, let's see. Any name beginning with an M. How heaven must be, somebody Rob Palmer said. They're looking for missing earrings. Okay. David says he's convinced now. All right. We're halfway through, you guys. Thank you for being here with me. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Is Lady Phyllis always pauses when she's done with her cold reading, hot reading, whatever, and she goes to ask them, what is your question? So this should get to the nitty and gritty of what the question is. Why is she signing on for a reading? Let's see.
Right now, my parents' house that I bought after they passed away in '07, and I've rented it periodically and been paying for it. I have like a nightmare tenant in there right now. So I'm worried about the condition of the property. They're supposed to be moving out on Thursday, and it's not even a tenant, it's an illegal sublet who's been there, done this before, it seems. So I'm just wondering if they have any guidance on the house. I'm thinking to myself, please let them be watching over this situation and protect that place.
They say that it's going to be a mess, but messes are fixable. Don't obsess about it. Paint, spackle, carpet.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. Anytime you're going to rent and you're going to you're going to have
Right.
those people renting, then you're gonna have to replace the
Oh,
carpet.
yeah.
Cost of but they want you to hold on to the house.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
They
Yeah.
want you to hold on. So hire somebody, hire a handyman and go in and
Right.
clean it up. And they said, look, they're sending you a single mom to rent. So look for like a
That's what I
single.
just had.
Uh,
I just had one, lowered the rent because she was responsible, and then rent skyrocketed. And so it seems she rented the house out to someone else
right. So
and
maybe
moved around.
you know what? So maybe that's what they're saying, that
Yeah.
you had a single mom and it didn't work out. So maybe don't. All I'm saying is they showed me a woman with
Yeah.
a child, single mom. So I took
Okay.
that's who you should rent to. Um, but you know what? Maybe they're saying don't. But I still feel that they feel that that's the way to go. Like they're showing me a friend of mine has an apartment upstairs, and she rented it to three guys, and it was a disaster. And then she
Yeah.
rented it to a woman with a child, a single mom, and it was good. And I think they
Right.
don't lose faith in that. I think that that's the way to go.
Yeah. I bet I've done it for a long time, and I was a property manager a long time ago. So, but when it becomes more personal, when it's, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Um,
But they said you've got this. In business, there are good years and there are bad years. But hold
yep.
the property. Your father says, hold the property. Don't
I
hold
am.
it.
I want to hold on to it, and I'd really like to get my brother down there because he's ill,
Right.
and my nephew's down there now. So
Right. Okay. And that's in another state?
it's in Florida.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's Florida. Yeah, so it's hard for you even to watch over. I got it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't
We have
pick
good.
Florida. I wasn't
Yeah.
getting it. But I am getting that You're going to be fine. You know, your son is going to benefit from
So we'll stop right here and we'll talk about what's going on. Is this financial? Yes, it is financial. It is definitely financial because what's going on is we do not know what is the best for this woman. If she should be selling the house, not selling the house. Again, it's not a peer to peer. Her peers are not telling her if this is a good idea or not. What's happening is dead dad is saying, do not sell this house. Is it a good idea? We don't know. Maybe it's not a good idea for her to keep it. Even if she agrees, this seems to be what she wants to do, hang on to the house. We don't know if that's the best interest for her. And neither does Lady Phyllis, because Lady Phyllis is not psychic. So this is financial advice. This idea of you should rent it to a single mom, and then she changes her mind saying, oh no, maybe you shouldn't rent it to a single mom. They must be talking about the single mom. That kind of thing. It feels like that's not okay because let's say the advice was rent it out to a single mother. And then when somebody comes along who would have been a good tenant, now that isn't a single mom, the woman's going to be able to say, no, I can't rent it to you. I have to rent it to a single mom. It's like when the medium says a man's going to come into your life and he's going to be your soulmate and his name is Steve and he's going to have red hair, very curly and blue eyes. Okay. So what that means is that if you do find somebody who looks like they'd be compatible and maybe a good match for you, but his name isn't Steve and he has not got blue eyes and he doesn't have red curly hair, you may pass that man over because the psychic told you to be looking for somebody else. And that's bad advice. So I find it's got to be wrong somehow to be looking for a certain type of person to rent your place or not rent your place based on the advice of a psychic who says she's getting the information from your dead father. Okay. And this it's so wishy-washy. She says, well, maybe it's the person who's you should rent to a woman who has a single child, a single mother with a child. Oh yeah, no. I think they're talking about something else. They're saying that you shouldn't rent to a single mom with a child because this one is the one, this could all be cleared up. You know how it could really all be cleared up? Give us a name. Phyllis, if you're seeing all this, you're confused yourself. Why didn't you say the name of the person who's there now, who sublet the place, and maybe who she should be renting it to? But no, let's just keep it vague like this. Okay. Back.
down
Yeah.
you know, but
Ay, ay, ay.
he's got to go to work.
Yeah, yes, he does.
He has to look outside of his field.
Yeah, political science. Yeah.
I mean, you can't open a political science store. So,
No.
so maybe you should suggest that he get a real estate license or some kind of license like that. But
Yeah.
he's not political science other than teaching. There's not
Right.
much. I was a history major, so there's not much you could do with it. So what they're
Yeah.
saying is he should look outside of his field,
Right.
but not being in business for himself because I'm not getting a lot of drive there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
No, I think he needs to be in a company setting personally, and he's very analytical. He's got an engineer brain, and I feel like it's just going to waste on this crap called video games.
but he can't work for himself. He's gonna
Oh
have
yeah, no.
so,
He works for me right now delivering flowers
yeah.
since he
But
graduated.
it's not challenging enough for him.
Right.
He's
Oh
smart.
yeah, he's really smart. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a waste, but
Who's the SH name? Sharon, Cheryl, around your son? Sharon, Cheryl, Sharice. Nobody? Okay.
I have a friend, Cheryl,
Okay. I don't know.
political friend.
A political friend. Oh, maybe they're talking about because she's political and maybe he could work on a campaign or something, political
He
science.
has he
So because why
he
would they
worked on my campaign.
yeah,
So
so maybe
yeah,
see if you can get him an internship.
yeah, that's what I've been trying to
Call
do.
this girl, if she's a political friend, call this girl and see if you can get an internship. But you
Yeah,
brought it up, so it's something to
yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Great
Well,
seeing you.
thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, and that's that. Very interesting, huh? So, oh, we completely forgot about the brother who's ill in Florida, or that needs to be brought to Florida, or is she trying to get her brother who's very ill to move into her mom's home, which would be his home too, right? In Florida. We forgot about that because she just skipped that. So her son, that, she's pretty much just okay, it's one thing if you're chit-chatting to your peers and your friends about your son and how he's not fulfilling whatever standard she wants him to fulfill. Basically saying he's just wasting his life on crap, which was the computer games and so on. She does kind of say, oh yeah, she does kind of say that he's a smart kid and he needs to get he could work and do engineering and so on, but he's just wasting his life, she's saying. So she pretty much said the political science degree was worthless unless you're going to teach, just like history. Well, I have news for you, lady. I have a history degree too, and you don't have to use it for history. You do it like you said in another field. Having a degree is just having a degree. You get a job because you have a degree, not necessarily in the field that you're doing. And it seems politics kind of got pretty interesting here in the last few years if you have a political science degree. I think that's quite interesting. Maybe he had some other thing he could do with his life. Sharon, Cheryl, Sharice. She has a friend named Cheryl. All the names that they give, let's look at the names that she's given on this one reading. She already knew Bill. FR name, Fred, Frank, Francis, but we think she might have already knew who Fred was. Sharon, Cheryl, Sharice. Is that what she said? No hits. These are all names that are all kind of, you know, popular or so on. Let's see what other people are saying. David has a really good point. He says that, who's watching this video with us right now, David is saying that this has nothing really to do with being a psychic. It has everything to do with just giving advice. As any friend or coworker or family member who knows your situation would do. But the problem is this isn't coming from a friend or a peer. It's coming from a person who has power, a person who's communicating with your dad, and your dad is telling you this, or your mom, or somebody's telling you this information. Nobody's telling her this information. Yeah, so any name beginning with an S. Find a company job. How brilliant. Okay, so as you can see, this is a typical, and if you watch the other videos that are on my channel under the playlist of Operation Dill Pickle, you will see, including one that I have shown in some places for a woman named Trudy. You'll find that video. That's the only one that I've even slightly released before today. And that's just, to me, Trudy's is a heartbreaking one. She does the same kind of thing where she gives financial advice, like don't sell your house, hang on to this. It's like, I kind of wonder if Lady Phyllis is just kind of high on her own opinion. She just wants to tell people what to do, and she just wants to do it using dead people to be able to say what she thinks is the right thing. I have a feeling this woman has lived her entire life being, no, you got to do it this way. This is what you got to do. God, this is not happening. I get that feeling because that sounds just like what she's doing. She's imposing her own beliefs, her own um, ideas, her own standards of life on here. Now, Lady Phyllis, her husband was an immigrant to the United States, didn't speak English very well. They started off buying like I think a limo, and they did a lot of work, hard work. And she worked in the office and accounting and did all the work for running a business. They bought more limos and then they bought more limos and then they moved and got businesses in Los Angeles and in Vegas. They grew this company into a big limo company and moved into other avenues as well. So this is a woman who's always worked and had probably has the attitude that everybody should be, working just the same. Hard work, get the shovel, let's do this, put the roof on yourself, just as hard work and not really taking into consideration that not everybody is the same. Hamilton's here. Ha Ham. I think he's coming to tell me his opinion of the reading. Problem is we don't have a pet psychic to tell us what he thinks. So he's got his mouth right to the microphone. You going to say something? So with that distraction, I think we're probably at the end of this video. I have a bunch more I got to do. Whether I do them tonight or not, I have to go through and black out, blur out the person's face. And I took her name out with a blur. So it takes me a few minutes to get these things done. But I really got to get these things done so that I can go back and I can write the article that I need to write. But if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. Please give me a like, hit the little bell so you know whenever I'm live, or not when I'm live, but when I uploaded a new video. I have a whole bunch of videos that are sitting waiting to go. Tyler Henry, Matt Frazier, all kinds of stuff. They're just sitting there, but I want to finish this task before I can move on to a different psychic. So I appreciate any comments you make. Leave them in under this Facebook video if you're watching that on Facebook, or under the YouTube video. I use your comments all the time to help me guide how I should best write these articles, because I think it's important. This is, like you say, this is a different kind of person than we're used to. We're not talking about the Tyler Henrys of the world. We're talking about, this is more typical. This is what's actually going on. So thank you all for being here with me. I really appreciate it.